Princess Leonor's private tears after wedding, the hidden truth. The palace lights dimmed. The music faded. The cameras turned away. And in that quiet moment, when the cheers of millions had vanished into the night, Princess Leonor did something no one expected. She cried. The future Queen of Spain, radiant, strong, unshakable before the world, finally let her emotions pour out. But why? What truth was hidden behind those private tears after the most glorious royal wedding of the decade? This wasn't a breakdown. It was a release, the weight of love, duty, and expectation all colliding in one night. For weeks, Europe had been mesmerized by the image of a perfect royal romance between Leonor of Spain and Christian of Denmark. The fairy tale seemed flawless, but behind that picture-perfect smile was a young woman caught between her heart and her crown. Leonor had grown up knowing that her life was not hers alone. Every glance, every gesture, every word carried the burden of history. But love, especially royal love, has a way of rewriting destiny, and that's exactly what happened when she met Prince Christian. What began as a quiet friendship during royal gatherings soon became something deeper, something undeniable. And yet, beneath the glamour of the wedding, there was tension, an invisible tug-of-war between tradition and personal truth. During the grand ceremony, King Felipe looked on with pride, but his eyes were heavy. He had once warned his daughter that the crown never truly allows for complete freedom. Leonor, smiling under her veil, understood that. But when the moment came to exchange vows, her voice trembled, not from fear, but from the awareness that her life was changing forever. That day, she wasn't just becoming a wife. She was stepping into history. Later that night, when the celebrations ended, the music stopped, and the carriages rolled away, Leonor withdrew into her private chamber. The tiara still glittered in her hair, her wedding gown still pristine, yet her reflection in the mirror revealed something raw, something human. She sat quietly, remembering every face she had seen that day, her father's pride, her mother's soft tears, Christian's unwavering gaze. It was too much, the weight of being both a woman in love and a monarch in waiting. Those tears weren't of regret. They were of truth. Leonor was realizing the cost of her destiny. She had chosen love, but love within royal walls comes with conditions. Every choice would be scrutinized. Every emotion, questioned. Even the joy of marriage felt wrapped in duty. And as she sat alone, a question echoed in her heart: could she ever truly be herself again? Christian found her there, quiet and lost in thought. He didn't speak, he simply knelt beside her and took her hand. For the first time, the royal mask slipped. Leonor looked at him, her eyes still wet, and whispered, promise me we'll stay real, no matter what this life demands." And Christian, the young prince who had grown up under the same pressure, nodded. "Always," he said softly. That promise, not the vows at the altar, became the true foundation of their marriage. But the hidden truth went beyond emotion. There was something Leonor had kept secret, even from her closest friends. In the days leading up to the wedding, she had written a private letter, a letter not to Christian, not to her parents, but to herself. It was her confession, her reminder, her anchor. Inside it, she wrote, "I will love with my whole heart, but I will not lose myself. I am not just a queen in waiting, I am Leonor." That letter was tucked beneath her pillow that night. It was her hidden truth, her shield against the storm of royal life. Meanwhile, outside the palace walls, Spain and Denmark celebrated wildly. The streets were flooded with lights and music. Newspapers called it the union of the century. But none of them knew about the quiet scene inside, the tears, the whispered promises, the letter that told the real story. In the days that followed, the newlyweds appeared radiant in public. Leonor's composure was flawless once again. The cameras captured her every move, the perfect royal bride. But those who looked closely could sense a new depth in her gaze. Something had changed. She was no longer the sheltered princess the world had known. She was a woman who had faced the truth of her own heart. King Felipe saw it too. During a private breakfast days after the wedding, he told her, "You remind me of your grandmother, strength hidden behind grace." Leonor smiled, but inside, she wondered if strength would be enough. Could she balance love and duty without losing either? That silent struggle became her new reality. In Denmark, Christian's family watched as Leonor adapted with stunning poise. Queen Mary was impressed, calling her a rare soul born for the crown. But she also noticed something else, a quiet intensity in Leonor's eyes. When asked about it later, Mary reportedly said, "She carries her love like a secret flame, beautiful, but heavy." Months later, when Leonor returned briefly to Spain for her first royal engagement as a married woman, the crowd erupted. She waved, radiant as ever, but those who knew her best could tell her smile held stories untold. Behind that smile was a woman who had seen the cost of the crown and chosen to embrace it anyway. The world may remember the wedding for its elegance, the glittering tiara, the royal carriages, the dance under the stars. But the real story, the hidden truth, lived in that quiet room after the ceremony. It lived in the tears she shed, in the promise she made, in the letters she wrote to remind herself who she was. Princess Leonor's private tears were not a sign of weakness, they were proof of her humanity. The world saw a princess, a future queen. But in that private moment, she was simply Leonor, a woman learning to love within the confines of destiny. And maybe that's what makes her story so powerful. Because beneath every crown lies a heart that beats, dreams, and sometimes breaks, just like ours. And when the world wasn't watching, Leonor showed that even a queen can cry, not out of sorrow, but from the weight of loving so deeply, so honestly, that it shakes the walls of tradition itself. Those tears, they weren't the end of her fairy tale. They were the beginning of her truth.